Welcome to episode 8 of Salute to the Ears. Joining me today is my beautiful wife, Erica.
Hey, y'all.
So, been off for a week. It's been...
Yes, you've been home all week.
Yeah. You're ready for me to go back to work, I think. Been a good week. Haven't done a whole lot.
No,
Kind of relaxed.
we really didn't get a lot done, but the kids have still been busy with school, and you had a lot of appointments this week, and just trying to catch up on stuff that we haven't been able to do.
And then I go into the dentist and the DMV during your week of vacation.
That was your own fault.
Yeah, it was. One thing we did start doing this week was planning our next trip.
Yes.
So, hopefully in December.
Hopefully in December, we've started working with our friend Lori and trying to start planning what we're going to do.
Right. Yeah. Looks like maybe a split stay. Never done that before.
No, which is really surprising. And it's something that I don't think I really knew much about until our last trip.
Right. So it's like it's just going to be us. So kind of a late or little early anniversary trip. I don't know.
It's it was supposed to be a trip for our 15th anniversary, which we're coming up on 16.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it's both.
It's both.
It's both. So, yeah, maybe a split stay in Grand Destino, Old Key West. Haven't stayed in either one. Pretty intrigued. Pretty excited.
Because they had just... Grand Destino had just opened when we were down there last fall.
Right. Yeah.
So we had not had a chance to see it. And the last time that we were at Coronado, they were getting ready to start all the construction for the tower.
Right.
So it should be really interesting.
So we're going down at Christmas time. Christmas decorations are one of our favorite things. We have trees everywhere. Our house kind of has a Christmas grenade thrown in it and Christmas decorations.
It's not a Christmas grenade.
Okay.
I mean, it could be more haphazardly. It's very much more magazine quality than a grenade. Don't diss on my 10 trees, okay, man?
Yeah, we have a lot of trees, but this will give us a chance to go down and see more of the decorations. We haven't been down there at Christmas time since our honeymoon.
Belated honeymoon, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last time. So, I mean, that was 2007.
Yeah. Which kind of also brings us to what we're talking about today. Today we're kind of going through what's our dream trip. Like dream place to stay, dream restaurant, and what's our dream day like.
Yeah.
So
now I've kind of gone through this and thinking like dream trip, not just the two of us.
Okay.
I think mostly because our trips are generally all of us.
Right.
I mean, we've definitely taken more trips, all of us, than just us. And we will likely take more trips, all of us, in our life. I mean, before the kids are grown.
Right.
You know, that, over the next 10 years, majority of our trips will be still with the kids.
Right.
So thinking, through to that, and we've also been able to do some trips with extended family. And so I think I just draw on kind of what we've already experienced and what that would be like the best.
Right.
Of.
No, this was very difficult for me because I had that line of, if it was just you and me, maybe this is where I want to stay. Or if it's all of us, then I want to stay over here. So it was kind of hard trying to find that line, kind of like where they intersect. I think I was able to do it, but we'll see. So since I am a gentleman, it's ladies first. Let's start off with your resort.
Okay. Well, when I'm thinking about dream vacation, like somebody's just said, do whatever you want. You don't have to worry about paying for it type vacation,
we just won the lottery.
Right? Like, you've just won Powerball type vacation. I go straight to wanting to stay at a villa
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah, I get that.
suite, something that is more, you really have the opportunity to just move in. Like
Right.
that's kind of the piece for me of dream vacation. So with that in mind, the places that I would most like to stay within that, and I'm thinking like dream trip of like 10 days plus. Okay.
Right.
So like you got to keep that in mind because if you're talking dream day, that's a different
Different story.
conversation
Right.
than like dream trip and dream resort on a trip because we tend to do trips that are like 5 days.
Right.
Somewhere in the like 5 to 6
Right.
day
Range.
range.
Yeah.
And we pack a lot into
in.
those days. We've talked about that before, but the thing is that when you pack that much into those days, it is exhausting.
Yeah.
And so I would really love to be able to like stay at some place either like Riviera,
Mm-hmm.
stay in a suite with a couple of different bedrooms, having the kitchen, having the opportunity to really like just hang there, hang at the pool, be able to like just hop on the Skyliner and
Right.
like go, in a non-COVID,
Right.
go to whatever park you want, whenever you want time, be able to go to, Epcot for dinner and really just have it be very open.
Mm-hmm.
Riviera is probably my number one, but I also would really love to be able to say, what are the ones at Wilderness that you
The
can see?
Copper Creek cabins.
Yes, the cabins at Copper Creek, and there's ones that you can see the fireworks
Right.
from Magic Kingdom, from your
Hot tub.
hot tub, from your
Yep.
patio, like your
Yep.
your
It's screened in.
patio.
Yeah.
They pipe in the music, like you can sit on the table out there and just watch. And I think that, so like Riviera, you get the view of like Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and you get to see all of that. Again, we're talking dream trip, and we're gonna just pretend it's not 2020 and none of that is going on.
Right.
And we're thinking the way things were
Right.
pre-COVID, or the way we want them to be eventually. Again, in terms of fireworks and things like that, because again, we're talking about a dream trip, dream place to
Right.
stay.
Right.
I do still want it to feel the way that it felt
Right.
back then.
Nope. And I think both of those are good choices. I think if the kids were younger, I would not have said Riviera,
No.
but I think they're getting to the age. Brooklyn would love it.
Yeah.
Brooklyn would love it. Jackson would like it just for the fact we're that close to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you could hop on the Skyliner. Mm-hmm. I think Wilderness is a fantastic choice. Once again, I think there's plenty of there for both the kids to do, whether they're teenagers or preteens. Brooklyn loves horses right now.
Yeah.
She would die going there. It's close enough to where we could hop on the boat and go over to Magic Kingdom to make Jackson happy. So I think that's a good choice. I think for me, the resort I was going to go to, I was thinking Wilderness, and I thought Riviera. If I was going to say just us, then I was going to pick Riviera.
Right. Just not a studio room.
No, those little towers, those things are tiny.
They're tiny.
It's like sleeping in a closet. It's like a cruise.
It does. It feels a lot like a cruise room, and that's probably the one
Right.
place I would say with Riviera that I'd be
Right.
like,
But Riviera is fantastic because you got a great view of fireworks.
oh yeah.
So
I mean, it's gorgeous. The
Gorgeous.
property is gorgeous, and everything we've seen from the inside so far just looks,
fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think another one on there I'm going to throw on, this one I guess will be my choice, are the bungalows over at Poly.
Yeah, for pretty much the same reason.
Yeah, real close to Magic Kingdom, can still see the fireworks. They have a little plunge pool instead of the hot tub in the back, but you got the separate rooms. Right now, that's very important with
Yeah, with
two kids who are sick of being around each other.
yeah,
And
especially for the last 6 months and as much time as they've had to spend at home and only having each other to entertain themselves. They've spent a lot of years not having to be the only ones entertaining each other, and
right, they have.
they're pretty done.
So that'd be nice because then we're also going to go with everything's up and running because Poly's part of it's closing down for a remodel, which includes their monorail station. Monorail station's up. You're able to go back and forth. Magic Kingdom, Epcot, real easy. I guess if you really wanted to, you could always take the monorail down to Epcot and then hop on the Skyliner and go over to Hollywood. So
Yeah, but
it's
then
kind of a
again, you're
roundabout
still
way.
talking about the
Right.
idea of you have unlimited, you've got
Right.
enough tickets for every day that are park hoppers. And again,
Yeah.
we're still talking in
That's
terms of non-COVID times,
Right.
and park hopper existing
Right.
again, and
No.
and being able to just be like, oh yeah, I've got a ticket for this day, like, and go
Right,
in, or
and
be an
go.
annual pass holder or whatever, where you don't have to even think about.
Right. You don't have to think about that, and so it'd be tough getting to Hollywood a little bit roundabout, but Hollywood would still be a good choice. You got all that Dole Whip right there too, so you can't really pass that up.
Yeah, that would be a major plus there over particularly cabins at Wilderness, and just it being a little more, secluded from restaurants and things.
Yeah, I mean Wilderness has got some good restaurants, which we might talk about coming
Yeah,
up.
but the cabins and that would be more difficult.
Right. Good thing about the cabins and the bungalows and the villas is you can cook yourself too if you want to, but
Right.
who wants to do that when you're on a dream vacation?
Right?
So
I mean, it would be nice to be able to, even if it was just like, the one thing I do hope they keep with all of this is the access to mobile order and carry
Right.
out, and carry out for like where you can mobile order right now and do carry out for quite a few of the table service restaurants,
yeah,
and
more
a
and
lot
more
of
popping
them
up. Yeah.
that wasn't an option before. And so, I do hope that they kind of keep that around for quite a while, with a lot of these restaurants. I think that'll be a key component of people really coming and getting to still enjoy them and utilize
Right.
them, is being able to take it back to their room or take it back to their suite or cabin or villa, and being able to still enjoy a meal with their family, but maybe they're not exposed, to all the people sitting in the restaurant.
Right. And it's a good way to take advantage of that villa.
Yeah.
You still want the good food that's around there, and you got the space there in your villa. Might as well take it back and use it.
Yeah.
And they all come with dishes and
Oh, yeah.
silverware and glasses and
I do. I
dishwashers
like the
and-
idea of being able to really move in, to really being
do
able
too.
to unpack and being there for, multiple days. I don't think the suites or the villas are really a great place for a quick trip unless you are staying with a large party and you're trying to avoid renting multiple rooms.
Right.
If you're trying to do that, then it works out. But like if you're, they're meant for longer trips. They're meant for like a vacation,
Right.
not a quick, like, let's hit as many parks as we can in as few days as possible.
No,
And
you're meant to enjoy the room as much as you are
the
at
room
the parks.
and the resort. Yeah.
So, yep, I think those are some good choices. I think we were kind of on the same page on that one. Got a feeling with this one, though, because our taste in food is a little
Vastly different.
vastly, splitting hairs.
Says the man who will not eat onions.
I've gotten better.
You've gotten
I've
better.
gotten much better.
It's only taken 18 years.
Right. And like a reset of my whole taste buds.
Yeah.
So our choices in restaurants may be a little different. So once again, if you'd like to go first, you can. I'll go first if you want me to, but
I want you to go first on this one because I think I kind of know what you're going to say. And
okay. So one of my favorite things to do when we're at the parks is people watch.
yes.
Okay. But I'm also a meat and potatoes, good pasta kind of guy.
Yes.
So I'm bouncing all around. There's lots of great places I want to eat at, like Chef Art Smith's Homecoming and the Boathouse and Disney
Yeah.
Springs. I really want to eat at those. California Grill would be really awesome because the view of the fireworks. But
Yeah.
I don't know if the food's really me.
Yeah. I mean, we even were looking at one of the restaurants for our trip that we were talking about. Okay, how can we eat?
Mm-hmm.
How can we eat at this resort?
Right.
And we were looking at the menu, and we were both like,
Yeah.
like just didn't fit us. Not that the food
Kinda.
isn't good; it just
Yeah.
wasn't a great fit for us.
I don't know, I kind of went back and I was looking at that one, and that's actually where I'm going to go. We were talking about Topolino's Terrace
Yes.
at Riviera. And the reason why I'm going to pick this one is I feel like I get to kind of do the people watching and enjoy either good food or pasta. Listen.
So where is the people watching though? Because you still have technically, you're talking about breakfast when you still have Mickey hanging around?
Nope. I'm talking nighttime.
Okay.
You have a spectacular fireworks view of Hollywood and Epcot whenever the fireworks get going again.
Right.
Okay. You have a fantastic view of that. That is a spot so many people want to eat at. So people are more or less happy when they're in there.
True.
So still get to see the joy on people's faces, especially when the fireworks are going. So I still get to enjoy either good pasta or a steak, probably some drinks, good
That
views.
always helps.
Good views, fireworks, happiness.
Yeah, that's totally right up your alley.
So that's why I chose that one. It was going down in between that one, maybe some over wilderness where it wasn't, food may not be nearly as good, but there's like a show and kids are laughing and having a good time.
Yeah, but see, I go to, when you're talking about a restaurant like that and there's something going on that you are trying to watch and engage in as well.
Right.
It's harder to people watch when that is happening than if you're able to just like sit back. Like, I so wish that we could eat at, this is not my choice, but in talking about what you're talking about.
We have lots of lists of restaurants we want to eat at.
Pretty much most of them. In terms of what you just talked about, the people watching and the really good food and stuff, I wish that you could sit right outside the plaza. In that little terrace area right outside the plaza and like watch the people and eat the food, because that would be like, you know, as far as the people watching and the good food, like that is such a prime spot to have the fireworks and stuff going on and be able to see it and people watch. Because I would miss out on being able to actually see, like, yes, you can see the fireworks and I get it from Topolino's. It's not the same as standing in.
No, it's not.
Inside the park.
Save that idea for later.
Yeah.
We may revisit that.
All right. Well, as cheesy as it sounds, I really love character dining. And it falls into the same line of seeing the joy and just getting to experience that, particularly when you are traveling with kids, you know, and we've gotten to see quite a few, our own kids and our niece and nephew, experience this. And
we've had some good character dining.
We've had some really good character dining experiences. And, you know, one of my absolute favorites, and I would love to go back and be able to do this again and be more adventurous with my eating. In doing so, the kids were pretty little when we went and did this one. And so, you know, we were spending more time trying to make sure they were content than we did with what necessarily like getting everything we wanted to eat. Right.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, it was Valentine's Day.
It was. So this was our trip we took in the beginning of 2012. And so the kids were in kindergarten and like 3-year-old pre-K. And we were there for Valentine's Day and we ate at Tusker House in Animal Kingdom.
Yep.
And they typically, non-COVID, have a character buffet that they do. You can do breakfast, you can do lunch, you can do dinner typically. But what's really nice is we had somebody tell us, you want to do this at brunch.
Yep.
And to book a brunch reservation rather than a breakfast or a lunch reservation, because you get the best of both worlds. They still have breakfast stuff out. They're already bringing the lunch stuff out. And you kind of get to experience and take in both. But I really loved the atmosphere within Tusker House. I thought it felt incredibly immersive.
Right.
I did not feel like I was at a Disney park anymore. I really felt like I was totally someplace else eating. I loved the character experiences. I loved that they were in unique outfits. That, you know, just creates such a distinctive memory when you get to see characters and character dining and they're in very specific costumes and, and taking on kind of a specific personality attribute.
Right.
In coordination with that. And so when we were there, it's kind of the Fab Five type
Right.
dining, but the kids gave them Valentine's.
Jackson gave Valentine's. Brooklyn was scared to death until the end.
Brooklyn was scared to death until the end, and she had food in her belly, and she was...
Who was it, Goofy that finally broke the ice, or was it Donald?
It was Donald, I think.
It was Donald. Whole trip she'd been scared of him.
Yeah.
Screaming bloody murder.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. She saw him on TV every day.
Yeah.
Some reason, nope, not having it.
Some reason the big bill in person was like too much for her, but the kids handed out Valentine's, and I mean the way those characters just fawned over the kids and how special they felt in that. Mm-hmm. And we've gotten to see it with lots of different character experiences. And I can remember growing up going and doing different character meals, and there's just something special about that experience. Right. And it's for me, that's the whole thing of like getting to people watch and getting to like see the joy and all of that, where there's not, there's kind of an event going on, but there's not.
Right.
We actually got really lucky this last time we went. We showed up to Magic Kingdom and it had already been raining, but not terribly. Yeah. And then we got there and it was just pouring. And we actually did not have plans for breakfast. Well, our plans for breakfast were to go to Sleepy Hollow.
That's right, yeah.
And we were going to get the Nutella waffle.
Right. No, there were things over there. Yep, things over we were going to get.
We kind of had a semi-plan for breakfast, and we ended up popping into
Crystal Palace
and being like, do you have, and they were like, yeah, we're wide open. Give us 2 minutes to set a table. And
yeah, and we'd been there before and it'd been
Mm-hmm.
It was a buffet.
Yeah.
But this time we had all the Winnie the Pooh characters come out,
mm-hmm.
and the interaction with everybody was
mm-hmm.
fantastic. Even your dad.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, Eeyore's his favorite, always has been. So I mean, that was really nice to get to kind of do that with him. You know, we weren't really planning it, but it was a nice surprise. But then we had a family that was next to us that was celebrating it was like the grandparents and then the parents and maybe like the parents' siblings, but they had a 1-year-old.
Right.
It was for their 1-year-old's birthday. They were all there and they had matching shirts and the whole thing. And so we took turns taking pictures for each other as characters came around. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's one of those other unique things that happens in those character dining experiences where people tend to, at least in our experience, and again, pre-COVID, non-COVID, where we really weren't worried about this, you know, I have never seen people just be so like, can I take your picture for you? Like, you know, or getting out of somebody's, you know, scooting out of somebody's way or making sure like you didn't mind waiting for somebody to have to pass them because they were meeting a character. Right. Like there was just so much more like we were all doing this together idea and like everybody's there for the same reason.
Now I think about it, it was pretty spread out and empty in there. It was almost like character dining during the time now where there's not a whole lot of people in there.
That's true.
Only you got to go up and hug the characters.
Actually hug the characters instead of them just parading around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was spread out like that. There just wasn't a whole lot of people in there.
Yeah.
So that made it kind of nice. And you had plenty of food to choose from.
We had tons of food to choose from. I think every time I went up, I had somebody, one of the cooks behind on the other side of the buffet that was always like, do you need more? What do you need? Yeah. What do you need? Can I get you more of this? Like, because it was just dead in comparison to a normal, gosh, I even think that was like a Saturday morning, wasn't it?
It may have been. Because later on that afternoon, it was busy. Yeah. It got busy. But that morning,
sure that was Saturday.
We were tromping through the water.
Yeah. Well,
with our Crocs and ponchos.
We had Crocs and ponchos. But man, we walked onto Jungle Cruise that morning. We walked on to Pirates. We walked on to...
we didn't walk on to Splash.
It was a short wait, though.
Yeah. We didn't walk because I had to.
We didn't walk because you had to carry Screaming Brooklyn because she didn't want to ride. But yeah, I love a lot of Disney restaurants. I love I love the signature and the table service restaurants where they really have something special and they've kind of, put in a lot of effort into what they have and what they're serving. And like one of our favorite meals from our last trip was at Liberty Tree Tavern.
That was good.
It was an amazing meal. We had a great server.
Man, we had good meals that day.
We really did. We had a good setup that day. We were full by the end of the day. But there's just something about character dining for me over themed dining. Now, and I will say that there's a lot of really good themed dining
that
they do such a phenomenal job with. But there's just something extra special for me about character dining. And I'm really, really hopeful that they will be able to bring that back at least with characters that are in full costuming, not live face characters.
Right.
Those are going to be a while, and I totally understand it, but I really hope that they could bring back the other ones where...
Yeah. We had a good one at Hollywood and Vine last time as well.
Yeah.
So, where they were all in their Halloween costumes, which they are right now. I mean, Minnie was out parading around in her Halloween costume this week.
What is she this year?
Oh, what was she? Was she a witch? No.
No, she was a witch last year. She's something else this year.
They've all been in so many costumes. They're switching them out routinely right now.
Still trying to figure out what Pluto is right now.
Yeah, a lion?
Kind of looks like a lion. Kind of looks like...
his head stuck in a wreath?
Yeah, like I haven't been able to figure that one out quite yet.
I don't get that one.
Is he a Christmas lion?
No. No.
I have Christmas on the brain already.
Yeah, no, we do Christmas. Actually, you do Halloween big.
I do Halloween. Now here's the thing about that. I do parts of Halloween big. We don't like go all out with like the decorations outside, and it's not all black and spooky and and all kinds of things inside. There's certain aspects of things that get pulled out. The dining room gets done up really big, but we do a big thing outside typically for trick-or-treating. So that'll be an interesting...
Yeah, see how that goes this year.
We're still trying to figure out if we're even going to be able to do that or what's going to happen if the health department is going to make decisions for us.
So I think Christmas is on your brain, though, because we've been talking about it since we've been planning the trip.
Well, we've been talking about it, planning the trip, and I think there's just something about... It means that 2020 is
almost over. And the New Year's Eve parties this year are going to be...
They're going to be insane. I can't even.
It's...
Speaking of trips in December, though, and trips at Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Does this take you to your perfect day?
Yes.
Okay.
So, it's really hard for me because I do kind of think of our days at Disney as part of a trip.
Right.
So it's difficult for me to be like, oh, just this one day. For me, it's more like a perfect trip.
Okay.
And how that encompasses. But I think for me, a perfect trip really looks like amazing weather. Mm-hmm. Nothing we can do about that, but there's a pretty decent chance in Florida that, depending on the time of year that you're there, that you can get away with, it might rain.
Right. And we've been down there before, too, where it was actually below freezing.
Yes.
That was not fun.
That was not fun at all. Thank goodness we lived someplace that was cold and had winter coats with us.
Right.
But, it's... decent weather is, and I would say fall weather in particular. Mm-hmm. So far, my favorite time of year to go has been fall. We've been one other time at Christmas. We've been in the winter. I haven't been in the spring or the summer in a very long time.
Right, neither have
I have done spring break a couple different times, and it's just insanity. But that was a very long time ago. We won't say how many years. But the, when you're talking about a trip, the weather is a big aspect of that, and how that's going to be. Like, we're talking about a December trip, and that is going to be...
Do you pack warm? Do you pack cold? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like it's going to be like mid-fall here.
Right.
I feel like there'll probably be some times in the afternoon where we want shorts, and there'll be a lot of other times where we're throwing on a sweatshirt or a jacket for, the evenings or for first thing in the morning. So, which is fine. But But so weather is really important to me in that it really needs to be kind of a nice day where you are warm. You're warm when you're outside, maybe not hot. Pull out the Miss Congeniality quote of like, it's your perfect date. April 20th. It's not too hot, not too cold. You just need a light jacket. I know. But I think for me, a big part of it is the overall trip. And again, with the like being able to stay in a villa and being able to not have to worry. I'm very hopeful that Disney will bring back dining plan in some capacity, because we've said this before. We've talked about this on here before, that this has been such a lifesaver for us as far as our overall cost and being able to just have fun.
Right.
And just do what we want to do.
Right.
And not have to really worry about, like, how much does this restaurant cost? Yep. You know, we've gotten to eat at some amazing restaurants
that we probably wouldn't have chosen,
but it's already part of the overall cost, and we were just able to budget that in ahead of time. Not that you can't do that on your own.
Right.
This just, it always helped eliminate a step for my brain, and I love that. So, perfect day looks like dining plan, good weather, park hopping.
Yes, I
miss park hopping. I'm hopeful that they're going to bring it back based on the way things are set up.
It's not that we did it a whole lot, but we did it some, especially in between Magic Kingdom and Epcot.
Yeah. And we've...
Or if Animal Kingdom...
Did we go back to Hollywood Studios that same day that like you and Jackson went this last time?
We did Hollywood Studios, and then we did Magic Kingdom.
Oh, because we had separate tickets that day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Was that the day of the...
Not so...
Of the party?
Yeah.
So I would say that for me, perfect day looks like being able to be there at rope drop without already being exhausted.
Right.
Like, so again, with the long trip and being relaxed and it not being like a big deal, but being able to be there at rope drop, being able to have good weather so you can anticipate, like, you're not having to lug around a whole bunch of extra stuff. And really being able to just have the freedom to be like, let's go do this.
Right.
We've tended to have to really schedule our trips because of being so short on time.
Right.
We're eating at this place this day, we're going to be at this park on this day, and we're going to do these things, and we're going to get these fast passes and all of that. And just to have the freedom, I do think the way things are set up now gives you a little bit more of that freedom within the park.
Right.
However, with the governor's new lifting of restrictions, I do think things are going to get busier.
Yeah, Disney just came out and said, though, that they're not changing anything yet.
No.
So, but it's probably coming. It's going to come at some point.
Right.
So, and things have been getting busier, especially on the weekend. So, I mean, it's coming. We've all dealt with it before. It's just part of Disney.
Kids are back in school now for the most part, whether it's virtual or in person. And so that does help keep down some of the crowds during the week, as it usually does in the fall anyway. You usually see lower crowds in the fall anyway.
Although they're saying October, around like Columbus Day when we went last year, is one of the new peak seasons. Because people are already off. You got parent-teacher conferences going on like we did. Fall breaks.
And we actually found out that you had some school districts that is a built-in teacher break. So not just like parent-teacher conference weekend where we were off, but their teachers definitely weren't. But there were definitely states and districts that have some sort of fall break built into their schedule for the teachers, which is great. I'm for it. But that's then a prime time for them to be able to go. It still was less busy than being there
spring break
or midsummer or like
around Christmas
or right around Christmas or Thanksgiving. Yep. So I mean you're still not talking like peak, but yes, it's not. September is usually a shorter timeline than October. Speaking
of September, that is my time frame of when I want to go. Late September, early October, where it's still warm. Okay, I like the warm.
Now, see, here's what's funny about that. So, a couple weeks ago, part of this trip is a gift from my dad for our anniversary. And he really wanted to send us on a trip for our 15th. That was something that was on his brain. And so part of this is a gift from him, and so, which is great. But so I went to him a couple weeks ago and said, okay, I know that his Alive Day is in like 9 days.
So my Alive Day, because some of you are probably going, what is that? That's when I was critically wounded in Afghanistan. Should have died, didn't. So we kind of celebrated almost like a birthday.
Yep. So I said, I know his Alive Day is in like 9 days. But what do you think the chances are that we could try to pull off a surprise trip? And leaving on his Alive Day, going down to Disney, it would have been a shorter trip than what we're going to be able to do in December because of the kids' schedules and our schedules. But you were already off for the week, and we were like, this will work out great. And I tried, and we just couldn't. The pieces would not come together.
Right.
But of course, you say that, and I'm like, see.
Yeah, no, it's the reason why I'm saying that time frame goes on with my day. So it's a whole family, because that's where the magic happens. It's going to be fun with the two of us, but we've had a lot of magical moments with the kids.
Yeah.
So it would start off with kind of already done this. So this is also pre-COVID, hopefully post-COVID someday. Extra magic hours in the morning, heading over to Hollywood Studios. Jackson and I did that last time, and we knocked out a ton in the morning. Mm-hmm. And it was a blast running from ride to ride to ride to ride to ride. He's my ride buddy. It's who I knocked out a bunch of the rides with, because Brooklyn just doesn't do them.
Not her thing.
Not her thing. She likes the shows.
She does like some of the rides.
Some of the rides.
But and it's so funny because it's like, and I know a lot of people will be like, that's not a real coaster, but she likes Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Right.
So there's quote unquote thrill ride stuff that she does like, but and I think that there are other ones that she would like. She doesn't like the water ones as much.
Yeah, she liked Cali River Rapids.
She
doesn't like the drop.
Yeah, she doesn't like the splash. She was really upset about, and there's just something about
the feel of when she's dropping.
Yeah, and I think it's the whole thing of like feeling like she's gonna pop out. I
don't know, maybe, but okay. Starting off the day, extra magic hours over in Hollywood, knocking out a bunch of that stuff. Okay, bunch of those rides, having a blast, having a good time. We're staying in one of the villas. We'll go with Polly. Okay. Able to go back, take a nap, relax, hang out by the pool if we want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Head over to Magic Kingdom at night. Probably eating. We like Liberty Tree.
We like Liberty Tree or Plaza.
Or Plaza. Eating our dinner over there. We have tickets to a evening event, whether it's the Villains or Not So Scary or whatever.
Right.
Something after hours. We have tickets for that. But before that starts, they have the fireworks at night. And we're doing the dessert party from the plaza out on the hub. So we got the desserts, you got the fireworks in our own little private area. So good view.
One problem with that. So if you're talking about the Villains one, or you're talking about, there are options to do it typically non-COVID in the past. Mm-hmm. There have been options to do that at those events.
Right.
But typically what you're talking about with the dessert party stuff typically happens when Mickey's is not going on. When Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party's not going on. You're talking more like regular fireworks in the dessert parties, or you're talking about
either or.
Okay.
So you have this private screening.
Gotcha.
Little area, dessert. It could even be the after hours event where there's not necessarily parades and stuff going on. They just got the rides open and it's super low crowds and you're just popping through everything, walk on everything. That'd be awesome because I like rides. But no, the party would probably be better because there's parades and shows and stuff. And that's Brooklyn's thing, and you like the fireworks and
I like the fireworks.
Not having to fight our way through the crowd.
I do like the idea of a fall trip, and I do love the idea of having, I said rope drop. Mm-hmm. I like being able to be there early.
Right.
I like being there early in the day, but the hardest part for me is I am not a morning person.
You don't say.
Is that you or the coffee fairy speaking?
Possibly both.
You know, if I have something to get up for that I want to get up for, I can,
Right.
and I'm okay. But if I'm exhausted, it is extremely difficult. My joints just do not work.
Which is why Jackson and I hit the extra magic hours at Hollywood last time by ourselves.
Yes.
And
Brooklyn and I
I don't
slept in.
have a problem getting up, and that day was hard to get up.
Yeah.
We
were
but it was
spent.
well worth it. Okay, so that brings us to our would you rather?
No.
No, you wouldn't? Okay. Would you rather
Okay.
have a trip where you get to stay wherever you want to, but you don't get really to eat all the places you want? Okay? Or a trip where, okay, I don't mind staying in this place, but you're hitting all the restaurants that you want.
Do I still get some restaurants, just maybe not the ones that I was like hoping for?
It's like middle of the road.
Oh, I'd probably say resort. I would rather be like, I feel like I can make the best of food easier than I can like being uncomfortable in a room.
Okay.
It's like, I think I'd rather be way more comfortable and feel safe and feel like, not that I've ever felt unsafe on a Disney property, but just feeling like it felt homey to me. It felt like secure to my brain.
You'd rather go stay in a villa and get the food over staying in a value resort or...
I'm not talking about how I feel about value resorts.
Yeah, I know. Okay, a moderate resort and getting great food.
I feel like you have more opportunity to really like mess with and make the best of the food versus that stay being and that resort being the same thing and you can't change it and you can't do anything about it.
Okay.
What about you?
Oh, it's tough for me because I like having a happy tummy. I like good food.
You're a pickier eater than I am, though.
I am, but I can usually find stuff I like.
I think you would just get burnt out after a couple of days of it.
Right.
I think is going to be your problem.
No, I think you're on the same course. I'd probably rather have the better place to stay and the food.
I just feel like if you can truly feel like you can kick back and relax and it feels
right,
like just like
yeah,
at the end of the day, then that's the better choice to me.
Right. As long as it's not like burgers and fries every day.
Yeah, that
I think
would
I'd
get
be
old
okay.
real fast.
I would just feel like junk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
I don't know. As long as I get Dole Whip, I don't care.
You don't care, yeah. So I guess we're at Polly then.
Hey, well, I can get Dole Whip at Aloha Isle too. Like,
yeah, but the line at Polly is a lot shorter. Usually.
It's going to be a while, though, before that's happening again.
Yeah. Well, the villas are still open.
The villas are still open, but there's a lot there that's not. And, you know, when we stayed at Coronado last time and they were getting ready for construction, that was hard.
Right.
There was, you know, when they're in the middle of construction or they're, you know, gearing up for construction, there's just so much that's not available.
It takes a little bit away.
Yeah, it really does take something away from that. So I don't know that I would want to stay at Poly during all the construction and the revamp. I think I would rather wait and stay there.
I think you're right. Get the full experience. So, all right. Well, tell us what you think. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Salute to the Ears. You can also listen to this on Spotify and find us at simplecast.com. Please hit that subscribe button. Help this thing grow. As always, go out and find your joy and
have a magical week.